Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
I am that dude, Bodkins. Patty to patty. It's ridiculous. No way. There's nobody else out there. He's your guy. Give a big round of applause for the one and only BodkinShow. I'm going to repeat that again, folks. I didn't stutter. Welcome to the Bodkins Show. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another great Bodkin Show. I'm your host, Bodkins, of course. Man, do we got a show for y'all tonight? First, I want to get into something while we're waiting on our guest to arrive, you could say. We could not, I don't understand this Ryan Garcia stuff, man. I wake up today. I'll admit, I didn't really watch the fight last night. But everybody is trying to give this kid his flowers. Oh, my God, it was incredible. Did you see what he did to Haney? Blah, 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 blah. He tricked everybody. He did this and he did that. My problem is I can't give him his flowers. The guy missed weight by 3 pounds. Like, Haney's still the champ. Whether you slice it, however you want to slice it, whether it was they should have gone to Garcia, it should have been vacated. Haney's still the champ. Garcia, they didn't fight for the title last night. Because Garcia couldn't, he didn't make weight, missed it by 3, but he didn't even try to make weight. I don't feel like. And then you wake up this morning and you got esteemed people, Ariel Helwani. I mean, just saying just the greatest things about Ryan Garcia, and he's tooting his own damn horn. Of course, you know that's going to happen with Ryan. But what are we doing? I mean, the guy missed weight. He didn't fight for the title last night. Let's not forget that. And I don't think he ever tried to make the weight. I think he knew he was going to miss weight. So I can't give Ryan Garcia his flowers right now. I mean, kudos to him if he was playing the weird, crazy, look at me, I'm crazy and trying to sell this fight. Yeah, that's cool. I respect that. But what I don't respect is not being professional and not making the weight. Got to make the weight. Make the weight, make the walk. That's half the battle. You signed on the dotted line, and I know he had to give a couple million back to Haney for missing weight. Also, if I'm Devin Haney, you didn't have to sign up for that fight. You didn't have to sign up, especially after he missed the weight. You know, but kudos to Devin Haney for keeping that card alive because, I mean, if it doesn't have Haney and Garcia on it, the rest of the card, all them other fighters, they don't need either, probably, right? Like, you know, they're not going to get their paycheck as much as they should. So, yeah, I mean, I just don't think it's. I can't give Ryan Garcia his flowers just due to that. We'll see. You know, we'll get our guests' input when he gets in here on what he thinks. I just knowing fighters and talking to fighters, like that's a battle, man. To make the weight, sign the contract, you know, you got to do it. We just saw Kayla Harrison do it 2 weeks ago at 303. So, you know, previously she would have to cut off 2 legs to make weight, and she did it, you know, at the UFC 300. So, you know, that was last Saturday, this Saturday. You know, she did it. Ryan Garcia, act like a professional, get it done. I don't care. Do all the crazy shit, kid. You know, sell the fight, but you got to make weight. You got to make weight, and now everybody wants to give him his flowers. I'm not here, not doing it. What else we got going on in the world today? Our esteemed guest for tonight. This man is all things Cleveland sports. He's a host, Elitlius, the Man Cave, cheap view from the cheap seats, and a list of many other great podcasts you can find. Give it up for my guy, best in the game, Big Mike, baby.
What's going on?
Mike, what's up? Mike, I started off the show. I know you're a little bit of a a fight fan as well.
Yes.
I wanted just the thoughts on the Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney last night. I did not watch the fight. Admittedly, I didn't watch the fight. I woke up this morning, but everybody's giving Ryan Garcia his flowers. I tuned that fight off as soon as Ryan Garcia missed 3 pounds. Like, I can't give him his flowers, Mike, because the kid wasn't professional and make the weight.
I understand that. I do. I definitely understand that. I still feel he has to go out there and do the damn thing. And
yeah.
He sure in hell went out there and did it. And he even played around, and that pissed me off some because, in the first round, he got that left off, and Haney looked like he was going to go down. But he didn't go for the kill move after that. And then the second round, all right, he played around, jumped around the ring, didn't attack him at all. It was like he conserved energy. And then he really put it on him. And when he did, he was beating Haney all the way around that ring. So he gets his flowers, but I get what you're saying, though. If he can't be professional enough to get weight, then that's a problem. Because now he doesn't have the belt. He would have a belt right now for that.
Exactly. And I said this too, kudos to Haney, because Haney, after he missed weight, didn't have to make that fight, right? But if they're not on top of that bill, that card, the rest of them boxers aren't eating. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, no.
Like those guys.
Yeah. And it hurts everything. And that's why Haney looked at him during that post or that conference and said, hey, look, for every pound you're over, you're giving me $500,000 and we'll make this fight. And Garcia immediately said yes. And as soon as he weighed over, he chugged a beer as he weighed in. And as soon as he weighed over, he sent him the money. Haney goes, hey, look, he held his word and sent it right to me as soon as he was over. So it was like, all right, Haney was for it.
I don't think Garcia ever planned to make weight.
Dude, he at the post conference, he said he was drinking and kicking it every night. He wasn't even doing anything. He said, I was doing whatever I wanted to.
Yeah, I don't think he ever planned on making the weight. I think he just wanted to make some money and show that he could box. But the problem is, man, if you sign the contract to make the weight, that's part of the that's part of the thing. And I get. And if he's, he wants to play this crazy person and do all the crazy antics, I'm okay with that too. Trying to sell the fight, like you got to sell the fight any way you can. So kudos to him for that. But sell the fight and make the weight. Conor McGregor. He does all types of crazy shit, but he's never not showed up for a fight that he signed the contract to and not made the weight.
Agree 100%. He should have made weight. And I was talking to my son about this on the cheap seats yesterday. I said, look, man, dude, something's up with Ryan. Something cracked in his brain. His mental states all over the place. He's a crazy.
I thought so. Hey.
Dude, he's going to these islands, whatever the hell's going on. All this stuff. And I said, look, one or two things are going to happen. His crazy and lunatic mental state's either going to come into focus and he's going to take it right out in the ring and do what he's supposed to do. Or he's going to do that, goof off, mess up, and get smoked. And he did the other one. Went straight in, got serious. And then when he knew it was over, he started messing around, tongue out, jumping on ropes, acting stupid, nuts in dude's face. It was dumb.
Yeah, what's up, Fresh? Yeah, he was hitting the slopes all right.
Yeah,
I mean,
shit, so
yeah, he needs. I was talking to my buddy about this. He needs a good person in his corner, to kind of just, you know what I mean, like keep him loose, keep him who he is. But he needs somebody in his corner. His dad's a little off the rails, a little too. I've seen some stuff with his dad from last night. It's like, oh, the apple doesn't. Just like that split personality almost. Like his dad's like lashing out at Eddie Hearn, and then it's like 10 seconds later, it's like, oh, I'm sorry, blah, 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 blah. Like, so it's just like, well, maybe the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
Now the whole damn family's nuts. Got problems.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, and we'll see what's next for Ryan and Devin Haney. Devin Haney's still the title holder. So it'll be interesting to see what's next.
Yeah, I see now everybody you see, like Shakur was already tweeting about the fight before that, Barboza, saying, this dude better never mention my name again because, look, he's getting worked by – and I thought the other dude won. So I thought he won the fight. And I can't believe it, the way they did it. And it was 98-92, Succumb. And then they went the other way with the other two. Like, how do those judges get that far off on this?
Yeah. Well, somebody had that for a draw last night. One judge had it for a draw. You're
talking about the Haney Garcia. One had it a draw and the other one's had it that way. The fight before that, it was even worse because, like I said, one judge had 98-92 for the Irishman, and then the other ones were like 96-94, 97-93, and it went Barboza's way like, dude, this dude worked him the entire fight.
Yeah. I mean, you just can't let that shit go to the.
That's
I mean,
why, yeah.
the judges in boxing, especially. I mean, them. They might be the one person below a politician more crooked. You know what I mean? So
Dude, it was funny because in the one fight, the fight with Barboza and Succumb, the one judge was literally standing up and he was looking. And you see him doing this. He had his hands out on the ring. I'm like, what the hell is this dude doing? You know, the other thing that disappointed me about the Haney Garcia fight is the referee that was in the Barboza fight before that. He's the dude that has his eyes popping out when something's going on. You know,
yeah.
I was pissed. I'm like, why did they have that dude in this fight? His eyes would have been big as hell. Like, that would have been great.
That would have been hilarious. Mike, we talked about what's next for Haney Garcia. What's next for your Cleveland Browns? Because you guys made the playoffs last year with Joe Flacco. Yeah. And I know there's some rumors like, hey, maybe we keep Joe. Joe is now the backup at Indy. Yeah. You guys went out and got a backup though, right? Yeah,
we got Jameis Winston and we got Tyler Huntley.
That's right. Jameis Winston. Yeah. So but is it now we're entering year 3 of this Deshaun Watson? Yep. First 2 years have not been great. What's the expectations for Deshaun?
And he better be there and not get injured. And he better play well because after this, I think they don't care if they lose money on it. It'll be almost like the Broncos and the dead cap hit they took with Russell. It'll be see you later. And again, Jameis isn't the guy I care for too much. I know he's there for the veteran.
Yeah.
But Tyler Huntley, he did it with the Ravens when Lamar went down. He led them. He went to a Pro Bowl. And DTR, I think, can be the man. He just needs to watch and learn instead of being thrown in there 2 seconds before you face a Baltimore Ravens defense that's going to eat you alive.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Watson has to prove himself. And you're going to have Jerry Jeudy. You have Amari Cooper. Njoku, who's just been tearing it up the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Chubb, we don't know how that's going to go, but you still have Ford. You have guys, and you have the offensive lineman that's just, besides Jed Willis, that's just a standing dumpster. You have everybody. I mean, you got a right tackle you drafted in the 4th round that didn't even let TJ Watt touch anybody. I mean, you have the pieces. The defense is stacked. So I feel like he's got to do it now, and it better be within the first half of the year that we see it happening. Otherwise, things will start changing.
You got to be concerned, though, man, because this is what his 4th – he hasn't played 16 games in almost 4 years now. Right, because it was the I think they sat him out the whole year, 3 years, really, because they sat him out the whole year last year, and then he was the whole year before he got traded. Then the suspension over half the season last year, and then this year he plays 8 games or so until he gets hurt. So he hasn't played 16 games in a full season. I mean, not even including the 18 games. In 3 years. And Chael Sonnen once said, "You don't get better at something by not doing it."
And he's 100% correct. They say practice makes perfect, and if you ain't even practicing, you ain't gonna be perfect. And Deshaun hasn't even done shit, and that's the real issue here. And you've seen spurts of it last year. You saw him look good here, look good there. The last time we saw him, he went 14-14, 132 yards, 20 rushing yards, and a touchdown to beat the Ravens.
Yeah, that was his game as a Brown at that.
Yeah. And you're like, holy shit, this dude's dead. That's what we want. And then he's out. And you're like, son of a what? It's insane. But yeah, he has to come out and he has to come out fire. Like it has to be right away. Just you got it all now. There's nothing you could say you don't have. You have every single piece of it all. And I think Ken Dorsey will even help you more because I think Ken Dorsey helped Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And I think he'll feed into that and he'll use some of that for Deshaun. And Deshaun can just be like, all right, let's rip and roll. And I think Stefanski finally hands over play calling duties to Ken Dorsey. Like he's had him the whole time he's coached it because he hasn't trusted anybody. But I think he's going to trust Ken Dorsey. It's going to let him ride. It'll take a lot of ease off people's shoulders. And I mean, you got 2 coordinators that are great. And Deshaun has no reason not to perform. And again, if he doesn't, we have the quarterbacks that can step in and Deshaun can go sit down and then we'll get rid of him.
Is there like beef between Stefanski and Deshaun? Because it seems like from the outsider, that's obviously you're more plugged in than I am. It seemed like last year they're like, it was like Deshaun didn't know, like was like, I'm not starting, and they're like, well, he was ready to start. Wasn't there like there was a scenario, something like that, and Stefanski was like, he didn't want to play, like pretty much.
See, and again, it was words like that, and Stefanski came out and said it wasn't even like that. He goes, the team doctors have said this way before that. Everybody took it as that. Problem is Deshaun was trying to do as much as he could, and they still wouldn't let him, and that's what led off to where, all right, DTR is thrown in there last second, which I think that might have been some, whatever. It could have been some haggle between them both. They were fighting with each other on that, but there's no real beef there. I mean, they sat down, they made the playbook to Deshaun. They've done everything for Deshaun, even all these moves and everything that's changed. Deshaun had a big hand in, so I don't know. They're trying to do everything they can for the man.
So the trade is almost pretty much over with after this year. Yeah. This is what the Texans got for giving up Deshaun Watson. So you guys got Deshaun Watson and a 6th-round pick this year. Yeah. They got 2020 first-round pick. They turned it into Kenyon Green. 2022 4th-round pick turned into Dameon Pierce. His rookie year was really good last year, not so much. Then they turned 2023 first-round pick into Will Anderson Jr., who probably could have been defensive rookie of the year. 2023 3rd-round pick, who turned into Tank Dell. I mean, he was having a hell of a year before he got hurt. And then they turned in the 2024 1st-round pick, and they traded that for Stephon Diggs, and then they have a 4th-round pick. Like, I mean, that's how you rebuild. I mean, obviously you got to hit on those draft picks, and they did, and they got CJ Stroud. Right now, as it sits, man, they got the way better of the deal.
Oh, 100%. Even if Deshaun comes lights out, unless he goes and wins a Super Bowl, Texans won that shit hands down. Texans are Ryan Garcia right now, beating the shit out of Haney. That's exactly what this is, because, again, Tank Dell. I mean, the reason why Tank Dell was drafted, if you know the story, CJ watched him and saw him, whether it was the senior game or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
He told the Texans to go look at this dude and said, I want him. And they drafted him, and he became what he is.
Yeah. Well,
so go ahead.
They were, Carlos and the Just Fans were telling me they had to go like Tank Dell like in mid-practice, but this was like early on in like, training camp. And they're like, hey, slow it down because you're burning our secondary. We can't even run a defense because you're beating us so bad. Like it took he had some games right there before he broke. I think he broke his leg. Man, but yeah, that Texan team to me, there'd be a problem. I know the Chiefs are a problem, but that team could be for a problem in the years to come. And it's just like, man, in the Browns, I know you guys went all in on Deshaun, but it's like to me, Baker Mayfield's been just as good while he's been gone.
He has. But he needed the move.
Yeah.
I think it helped him mature, and it changed who he was as a person more than a player. Like, he always had the skill. He always had the talent. It's just his maturity level wasn't there. And it wasn't that he mentally can't do it. He was so, it's all about me. I can do it all. Screw you, this and that. But now that he went to Tampa, he settled all that down. You still see spurts of him, grabbing his shit and telling people to F off. But he's just even keel.
Yeah.
He's not up and down.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of talent. The Browns are going to be good, though, still, even, just depending on the quarterback situation. But that whole division, Mike, man, like, the Steelers got better. The Bengals are going to be better with Joe Burrow back. The Ravens are they. You know what I mean? Like, they're defending number 1 seed. Like, they're going to be good. Like,
the whole division is making the playoffs.
Are you think all 4 are making the playoffs?
Look, if you really look at it, last year it could have happened. The Bengals were a game out of doing that. If they would have won those 2 games, if they would have ended up beating KC somehow in that one game and won one other game, they would have been in the playoffs too. It would have been all of us in there. But I could see it happening. I mean, someone's going to win the division. They're going to be in, and then how are you going to – the toughest division in football is how I look at it. I mean, they're going to just beat each other up. I mean, the Bengals went 1 in what is it? 1-5 in the division last year, and they still almost made the playoffs.
Yeah, and this year they're gonna have they're gonna have Joe Burrow. They're gonna have Joe Burrow back too. You know,
yes.
what I mean?
And we all saw what happened the last time he got hurt like this. He took the team all the way to the Super Bowl the next year.
Yeah. When he plays the whole season, it's amazing how good he is. You know?
Oh, yeah. He gets hurt again. He's injured prone, and I laid this out to Jay. You know, Jay's a big Bengals fan, of course. I said, listen, he gets hurt again. It's time to trade the man. It's time to look and see who wants.
You can't do that.
Trade his ass. I even said it last year. I said when JB6 was doing, I'm like, look, trade Joe Burrow, get him to the Vikings because the Vikings are going to need somebody. Get the Jet over here. Let JB6 do the thing with Chase and the Jet. You got Higgins, and draft a quarterback and work him in.
Nah, you keep Joe Burrow, baby. He's Mr. Ohio. You know that.
Oh, I know. I was messing with him. It's funny though because now he goes, oh yeah, he gets injured again. He's got to go.
If he gets injured again, there's going to be some problems. Yeah, for sure. Because then that's a pattern, man. And you hope you don't want to see that even. You know what I mean? Like you don't just because how good he is. Speaking of, Jefferson, I read that they offered the Vikings 2 first, Higgins for Jefferson, and the Vikings like, no thanks.
And I can see why. I mean, look what the Vikings got right now. They went and made that trade. They got 2 first-round picks. They got the 11th and the 23rd. Yeah. They could literally trade up, get a quarterback. You know, I hope to God they don't get J.J. McCarthy, but I feel like that's what they're going to do, even though, I don't know. I feel like a Bo Nix is a better pick. Let Bo Nix play. Dude went through like 500 OCs, 20 head coaches, and was winning. The dude's a winner. The dude don't lose. He was 25.
I like Michael Penix. Penix, same way.
Penix, and you could probably get him in the second round. And
late first. You could probably stay pat and maybe get him at that 22nd pick.
Yeah, get him at that pick with that 11th. Dude, draft yourself a corner. Get one of those. Get Quentin Mitchell. Put a corner out there. I mean, your offense is stacked. Jefferson, Addison, Hockenson, and then Aaron Jones in the backfield. Ah, man, dude, the team's ready. And the offensive line's decent. I mean,
that's a team that could, I mean, they'll finish. I think the Vikings will finish third still. I like them behind the Packers, the Lions, and even the Bears that could be on the come up. We'll see what Caleb's about. I see you shaking your head. I can't make I've now know if I ever seen a more like scrutinized player come into the league like Caleb. Like either people think he's a bust, like it's like one way or the other. Like you either hate this man and you think he's gonna be absolute bust, or like you think he is like the next guy, even on TV, even on like the big media guys.
My thing is the dude has all the talent in the world and ability. Amazing football player. Mentally, I don't know if he can do all this right now. You see when he loses, he lost to Utah. He went and cried in the stands to his mom. People are like, oh, well, his mom traveled halfway across. It doesn't matter. I'm not crying in front of all these people, in front of everybody.
Mike, somebody would tell you you're not emotional then. You know what I mean? It's how you want to spin.
I'll be emotional. I get pissed that they won, and I go in the locker room. Then I'll be emotional. I'm not going to be emotional like all these people.
Hey, but that's how they spin it. That's if you're his agent, or another scout that's like, well, somebody's talking about that. Well, he's emotional, man. He loves the game. That's how much he loves the game. That's why he was crying to his mama, because you know what? We're men. We're supposed to be the new age. We're supposed to be able to cry. We're supposed to be able to share our feelings with the world. Hey, you got to spin it, Mike.
Man. Don't go cry to your mom. Definitely don't. And then after another loss he had or a bad game he had against Notre Dame, he said all he wanted to do was go home and hug his dogs.
Hey, man, you have a bad day at work and it's like, I just want to go home and hug my dog. Means he's a dog, loves his family. That's how you spin it.
I get to sell the American guy, the American dream. Say, hey, he's got a golden retriever with a bandana on and he loves his mama. I understand all that. Painting your nails, wearing dresses, do whatever you do. Problem is, if you go to Soldier Field and you get on that field and you do not exceed expectations or come damn near close to doing it, them Bears fans, them Chicago people are going to eat you alive. And now is his mental capability, can it handle that?
We're going to find out. We'll find out in a few months. And there'll be a lot of people even in Chicago, it felt like half were with Fields, half were with with Williams. Like, and you even get on like I have several people that I know are Bears fans, and so you get on just even on on Twitter, man, it just filters in. It's like I hate Fields, I love Fields. We don't need Caleb. I love Caleb. Like they're split, so that half is going to get real loud that love Fields, but he can obviously win them over at the same time.
And I agree, but I looked at it, dude. If they would have kept Fields, because they never built around Fields, and never gave Fields the team.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, right before they trade Fields, they show him exactly the team that he should have had. Keenan Allen, DJ Moore. Hey, we're getting DeAndre Swift. We're putting a little line up here. We're bringing in some defense. Oh, by the way, Fields, you're not going to see the team because you're out of here. Dude, the Bears could have traded down some spots. They could have even traded with the Vikings, got the 11th, the 23rd, and probably 2 more first at some point, and built for real around this damn team. Yeah. And let Fields be there, and that team would have been dominant for years to come.
Could have, yeah.
I don't know, man. And they still had the 9th. So you could have got Marvin Harrison, brought him in there, grabbed Joe Alt or old boy from Penn State. Then, dude, it could have been all sorts of crazy things that happened if they would have traded back.
Yeah. I thought they were going to. I was like, if they would have, you could have traded back to 2 just with the Commanders, so they could have took Caleb Williams, and I'm sure, they would have loved it because Caleb's from that area. So hometown boy, hometown team. They would have. I mean, what'd they give up for the RG3? It would have been something more than that, right? Like, remember the Rams traded up for RG3?
It was like what, 3 first rounders?
Yeah, 3 or 4 first.
Crazy. Yeah. And I heard there was a deal out there set to do that. Someone said there was a rumor out there that the Washington, said, "Hey, we'll give you 3 or whatever," and they said no.
Yeah, I heard that too. I heard that too. They could
have traded back and got Jaden Daniels, and Jaden Daniels, to be honest, he could throw the ball just like Caleb. He could use his feet. And he knows when to use them. That way it opens up his passing lane so he can throw the ball. I mean, I don't know, dude. You could have had all those first rounders.
Well, I mean, and staying in smoke screens for 300, Alex. I always say, like, you can't. I don't like to try to believe it, but it is kind of fun. But because it's more smoke than at a Snoop Dogg concert, Mike.
Oh yeah.
It's to me, like they're saying Drake May, Daniels, and maybe somebody else were like anybody but Washington. Like at the 2 spot, allegedly none of them want to be drafted by the Commanders, including Jaden Daniels. Like, I don't know how true that is,
And like you said, it's Snoop Dogg, it's Martha Stewart, it's all of them. It's the biggest cloud you've ever seen in your damn life. Because you're hearing all the rumors. Because I just read something where the Vikings were going to trade up and get Caleb Williams, or I heard they were going to draft JJ with the first. I heard you hear all this shit.
Yeah, I've heard all of it.
My thing is I really feel like it's just going to be the Vikings trade those picks. They go to the Chargers. Chargers would be stupid not to trade back, get 2 first rounders, add to that team because they need to add. They got rid of every offensive weapon they had besides Herbert. So they definitely need to do something. But yeah, this smoke is enormous, and it's not going to clear out until after we get through Thursday. And then finally we'll be like, all right, now we know what's what. And we could say, that dude over there smoking that pipe's got the good shit. He's 100% correct. That dude's got some crazy Reggie because that dude didn't know the dirt from his ass. So
that dude right there got that river weed that it's fucking sticks and stems.
Yeah, he got that shit he thinks is homegrown. It's actually Buckeye leaves, and that's what
No doubt. I mean, it is interesting. And, I think some of that is the media obviously tries to drive up interest and hype. ESPN Greeny's on get up every damn morning spinning something because just to get us to fucking tune in. But, it'll be interesting. What would you like to see your Browns do? I know they don't have a first, but in the draft to try to add here.
I would like. I like Xavier Leggett from South Carolina. If he somehow fell to us at 54, 55, whatever we got, I would love him. I would love Malachi Corley. I think they call him the Yak God. I like that dude.
Yeah.
We do need to shore up the defensive line. We let some people go. Need to add some talent there. So another D tackle would be great. But I mean, right now it's kind of just that. Maybe grab a linebacker that we think could come around. Somehow they know how to draft corners and they know how to draft offensive linemen. Like we can get an offensive lineman in the 6th round, and dude will be a Pro Bowler. It's insane how they do it. Just like corners, we can draft corners all around. And I thought we were going to have to because I thought we were going to trade Newsome to the Lions, especially after the news came out with old boy and how he messed up. Because the Newsome trade was in talks before that happened. Then that happened. And they got rid of him. I'm like, maybe Newsome's going to be gone anyways. Well, now I don't know. But I don't know. The draft for the Browns this year, to me, it's one I'm not even worried about.
Yeah.
I'm more worried about what we have.
Yeah. And then he added Judy. Judy to the mix was huge. Yeah. Elijah Moore has probably been his career is probably over as far as like they tried to bring him in and second team. Didn't everybody kind of had high hopes? Didn't happen, but with Judy and Amari Cooper, maybe Amari Cooper will show him how to catch a football because Judy just doesn't seem at times to want to catch one.
And what's crazy, dude, in college was a dog, straight dog.
Yeah.
Then he comes out and it's like, all right, you're hit or miss a little bit in your rookie year, all right, and then he just And he says Amari was the dude I loved. I'm out of my game after him. Well, cool. Now you're gonna go be with the man, and he's gonna show you exactly, and you're gonna start doing the damn thing. You know you're not the number one, so be the number 2 and pay attention to what you're doing because you're never going to be the number 1 with Cooper here. You're not going to do. You and Cortland were battling. Who's number 1? Who's this? But now you don't got to worry about that. And Elijah Moore is definitely done. It's not that he's done. He could probably go to a team and add a piece. Like somehow we should trade him or get rid of him. KC can't win right now. They can't.
Right.
Rashid Rice is out here drag racing in broad daylight with guns in his car, getting in accidents.
Allegedly.
Well, this is insane, dude. What is wrong with professional athletes? You got a gift. You got all this money. Stay your ass at home or have an Uber driver or have a professional driver. It's not that hard to make millions.
I know, but it is. We say that, Mike, but we weren't 20. I made dumb decisions as a 20-year-old, 19-year-old kid, and I wasn't a millionaire. You know what I mean? So, I couldn't imagine.
Well, you got to understand why we could do that because we had nothing to lose because we were already losing.
You know what I'm saying is I made dumb decisions with less money. You know what I mean? Imagine if I had more money to make more dumb decisions. I feel like I'm not saying some of the stuff I agree with, but I'm saying he is 20, 21 years old, and he's a millionaire. Now, I'm not condoning, by all means, driving 90 down, drag racing on the interstate, but and causing people accidents. Yeah. But I am saying, we've all done dumb shit in our lives, especially when we were young. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I was drag racing, but I was going down the strip. I knew there was nobody to be on at midnight.
Yeah, not an interstate. And allegedly, he might have had. I've heard he had more than just one gun, Mike. A couple AR, hanging in the back.
Why?
Yeah. And then run from the scene. Run from the scene. So
that's what I don't get. That. Why do you need all these guns? Why do these professional athletes need all these guns? I get maybe you come from, that neighborhood, I would never need a gun again if I was at, nope, I don't want one. You guys, I hired guys to have them. You guys got them. I don't want them with me. Nothing. If I have one, it's going to be one. It's going to be my personal gun, and that's it. That's one gun.
And it's hard for me because I'm a white kid from Missouri, so it's hard for me to speak on it. But I can just only know from talking to people about that type of culture. But there was somebody said once there was a shift back in the day, 80s and early 90s. Everybody knew the one guy that was going to get up out the hood and could make it in the world. Yeah. We about to do some shady shit. You get out the car. Get out the car. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's how they took care of you. Nowadays, they don't take care of you. Hey, we about to go do some shady shit. You coming with us. You know what I mean? And they don't care that you're doing dumb shit. So, you know what I mean? That's the difference is they used to care about people propping people up and them helping them get out. Nowadays, we want part of the glamour. They want part of the glamour and be in the scene and not take care of each other. You know what I mean? And that's everybody. That's not just race, but that's just everybody. That's the world we live in.
I mean, listen, I had a big homie. That's what you had when you were growing up. Like you had an uncle. Yeah. You had your uncle, you had a big homie. You had people that looked out for you. Me and one of my best friends, and True story. I mean, me and him, did our things. We were on the wrong side of the track already. There was no saving us. But there's this kid, blonde hair, you talking about blue-eyed dudes, just straight as an arrow, never done nothing wrong. Dude could outball anybody I knew. Like, I'm talking about this white boy was a baller. Freshman, he walked in there and schooled the entire varsity type shit. And, I mean, granted, he was at Stowe, but then he went and balled with LeBron and all of them in these tournaments and stuff. Dude could ball, so we did exactly what we could do for him. Made sure he had shoes, had everything. Made sure he didn't worry about stuff. Just took that one time. He went over to the dark side and he never came back. And we weren't around for it when it happened.
Yeah.
But then I always looked out for him after that anyways. Like, dude, I'm not going to let you go too far. And when I got my stuff, he went all the way off the deep end. And, I mean, he could still ball to this day. I could go on the court and put him against anybody. He'd outdo him. But it just sucks because that's what it was. You always had a big homie look out for you. Had somebody you could say, hey, this dude knew the old man. He knew what was up.
Yeah. And now we don't have that no more. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's everybody wants to be part of, like with John Morant, like his friends know that he, you know what I mean? And then like he's in 2 months later, he's got the gun in his head. Like, yo, like who are your friends, man? Like, you know what I mean? Like friends would not let friends do that. You know what I mean? Like, take the gun. Hey, first of all, we ain't fucking put the shit on. Stop putting everything on your cell phone and recording it on IG. Like, you don't put the shit on the internet. Nobody even knows you got guns.
That's right. It is so messed up that his dudes let him do it again. Like, it was the same people letting him do it. Like, hold on, man. This man's got millions. You could ride with him. Say, hey, look, you pay me, I'm driving you. I'll hold the gun. You don't need one. I got it. I will drive. You can go get drunk. I'll be sober. I'll drive you everywhere. That's how I would be. Like, your homies need, your boys need jobs. Guess what? I'm paying one of my dudes $100,000, $200,000 a year. Like, all you're going to do is drive me everywhere when I need to be driven and going to an event. You're driving. That is your job. You are.
Mike, I don't need $200,000 a year. Just break me up about $85,000 a year with some benefits. And I'm all right.
Well, I'm getting $200,000 because anytime I know I need it, you come pick me the hell up. We're doing this. We're doing that. Drop me off. I don't have to worry about nothing. I can go drink if I wanted to, but I also wouldn't go out and drink like that. I might go out for 2 hours, and we'll go out for 2 hours, chill. And then I know it's always going to be some fan or some crazy lunatic trying to do something. Then I got to get the hell out. I'm going home. I got a whole bar in my basement, pool tables. You people can come here. I have a couple people over there. I'm not doing this outside shit where I got to worry about everything.
We say that, man, but again, you're what? How old are you, Mike?
I'm 39.
Yeah, 39. I'm 38. I'm 37. So we are older. We're older 30-year-olds. Like, we damn near, if we say that almost as damn near 40-year-olds. You got to put ourselves 20 years ago. Again, you said you had some problems, and you're like, I was the first one to admit, hey, I done act a fool, and I had just the military money. Like, I was just like an E3 had money, you know what I mean, in the middle. And I thought I was balling out every weekend, just like much less millions, So I'm like, I probably would. That's why, you know what I mean? Like, that's just what I think about. So, but you're right. Like, somebody has his friends or somebody has to step in and help him. You know what I mean? Like, that's just, especially in the world today, that's also different. 20 years ago, we didn't have cell phones like we have them now. Like the internet, like everybody posting pictures and it's all this.
We had track phones, man. We had track shit. Phones. Yeah. We had the ones that would never die to no kids. Them things wasn't you played Snake. That's what you did on those things.
Yeah. Amen to that. That's it. Snake. Mike, before we get up out of here, I gotta get your thoughts on your Cavs. Game 1 went their way. Thoughts on just really the NBA playoffs just far. I know I picked the Nuggets and I got the Celtics out in the East to make it to the finals was on Thursday when we did our NBA preview. But thoughts on the Cavs first and then just NBA playoffs as a whole.
Cavs, game 1, I mean, they put their foot on Orlando's throat and they never let off. Like, they led from start to finish, and they did it without what they've done it with all year, the 3-ball. They were averaging 15 makes a game. They only had 8. I mean, and 5 of those were in the first quarter. So they only had 3 the rest of the game, and they still beat them by 14. And what I take away for real from that game is the physicality. Like, the Cavs are starting to get known as a soft era guys. Like, they're softies, bunch of soft fools up there. You could push them around. You could grab their chains. You can do all this and not going to do shit. Well, they started to try to play nasty, and we didn't allow that to happen. George Nang got in someone's face. Okoro, people were getting teased and were saying, hey, look, I'll bring that shit here. We'll bust your ass. And, we proceeded to bust their ass both ways. And I really feel the Cavs might walk out of this. They could sweep, but I feel like it'll be 5 games. Orlando will probably stage off the sweep, but they look good. They look good. But I don't know. See, you got to look towards Boston after that.
Yeah. They dismantled the Heat today.
They did. But I mean, the Heat didn't have Butler, didn't have Scary Terry. The Heat aren't going to do much without them, guys. They need that leadership. I mean, granted, they took apart the Bulls, and I called it. I said, everybody's riding high. Well, the Bulls, blah, blah. Kobe White, how many he's going to score? I said less than 15. He scored 13. And the Heat destroyed them. Hero came out and played. Bam,
the Bulls are a clown show. All year they've been an absolute clown show.
The Bulls need to do something with themselves up there. DeRozan's old. They gotta change that whole rebuild. Got to be a whole rebuild.
Yep. Agreed.
Celtics whoop on them. So it looks like the Celtics will probably sweep if Butler doesn't come back. Otherwise, that's a sweep. I got it the way you had it. You said Boston and Denver. I got it the same way, and I think Denver repeats. I think it's a back-to-back. Denver's so fundamentally sound, and they even showed it. Like, the Lakers were getting at them a little bit, and they were hanging with them. And then the Nuggets said, hold on. Sorry, we were just stuck in third. Let's slam it in the fourth, and they just stomped a hole in their ass, and that was the end of that.
They got no answer for Nikola Jokic, who I think is probably going to win his 3rd MVP. They announced today the MVP finalist was Shea, Jokic, and
Luka.
Luka. Yeah, it was Doncic. Yep. Yeah. So I mean, those are the 3 finalists, and I think it's probably Jokic gets it again.
It's hard not to give it to Jokic. I would love Shea to get it because Shea's improved and looks so good. But it's hard to not give it to Jokic with all he does.
What do you make of people saying that they're the worst number 1 seed in like decades?
They're not even the number 1 seed. They're number 2.
No, I'm talking the Thunder are the 1 seed.
Well, it's not that they're the worst. They're the youngest. They're young. They're inexperienced.
That's what I said. I said there's a difference in telling me that they're the worst because the record says otherwise, right? Yeah. But they're just the most inexperienced. If you said they're, like you said, Mike, they're inexperienced. And I would say, they're the most, probably the legit most inexperienced number 1 seed. The only other number 1 seed I could think that was like that was a couple years ago with the Hawks. Like they weren't very. You like had a feeling like I don't really trust them to go to the finals, and you kind of have that feeling with the Thunder. And it's just because they don't have the experience to draw back from. Like this is in one thing in the NBA. In almost all sports, is like that youngest team just doesn't. It doesn't just rise to the top, like they don't just become NBA champions over time. It takes some heartache. It takes tough first round series. Oh, we lost, in this series. Oh, we lost in this series. Like even the Nuggets, it took some time. Like they had some playoff heartaches, you look at the Celtics, guys, they have a good roster every year, but every year they have some heartache. And if they won this year, which I don't think they will, but if they did, it's like, man, they've been knocking at the door, for years. Same with the Heat. It's just like, so this very rarely in sports does this super young team just go straight to the championship.
100%. And the thing is, the average age on that team is 24.
Yeah.
24 years old is the average age. I mean, people are just coming out of college at 22, 23. So you got to think they're all been in this league for 3 years, maybe some of them 1. I mean, that I think they're going to have a little bit of a heartache. Like the Pelicans will give them
a challenge. If Zion was in too, I think they could almost take it.
See, I don't know if they've said he's out completely.
Yeah, I don't know. I know he's out for a few weeks. They said so.
Well, then maybe he is out completely then, unless they get past his first round.
Yeah,
and I think even without him, Ingram, McCollum, Valanciunas, I think they still give him a handful, and Thunder will move on. But when they face, and it looks like the Clippers, because the Clippers done smacked the Mavs even
without Kawhi. Without Kawhi.
And Russell only had 13, only played 25 minutes, didn't even really play.
Yeah.
I mean, just chilled. And
it's sad because the Mavs were they were probably the hottest team in the coming into the playoffs.
Oh, momentum was riding high with these boys, and it was like, all right, Luka, he had 33, Kyrie 31. I mean, Luka damn near had a triple-double. The next guy after that's 11 points, and that's it. There's no 2, 3, 4. Dude, that's it. I feel like the Clippers are going to walk through that, and then they're going to smack the Thunder. Like, the Thunder are going to be like, holy shit, dude. Like,
in our playoffs, I had the Thunder. I had the Mavs beating the Clippers because I just didn't know without Kawhi, and I had the Mavs beating the Thunder just because I just felt like, that's just kind of your ceiling right now for me. I see it. You know what I mean? It's one of them things you got to see it.
Oh, and I agree, and that's how I had it. I said the Clippers are gonna go. Yeah, because I think the Clippers are the most dangerous team in the playoffs because you have 4 guys that have been here and done all this. One championships, been to the finals, been through the playoffs, and now you got one of them that said, "Hey, I'm a walking triple-double. I'll come off the bench for you." Harden says, "I'll do whatever I need to." And then you got 2 great defenders in Paul George and Kawhi who could score 25, 30 on any damn night. And in Zubac and Terrence Mann, hey, you get all these guys working on the same page. There's no one that can stop them.
It'll just be if Kawhi can stay healthy. That's the big key. If he can stay healthy. Yeah.
And that's it. He had inflammation. They said, I really think it was just, hey, we're going to see what the Mavericks give us. We're going to let Kawhi sit. Now they saw that. They're like, all right, cool. Now we'll let someone else sit the next game, put Kawhi in. They're going to start rotating people. Everybody's going to be fresh come the Western Conference Finals, and then you're going to have Denver and them go battle at each other 6-7 games. And I still think Denver comes out on top just because they're the most fundamentally complete team and they've been together. But, dude, I feel if the Clippers – whoever comes out the West to me wins. I don't care who it is. Clippers, Nuggets – which I feel is the Nuggets no matter what. I think they come out and they win because Boston is Boston, but we still haven't seen JB and Tatum take over a fourth quarter or be that guy that says, oh, shit, someone needs to step up and do the LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan move, score 20 points or 10 points, 15 points in a row, and make sure we win this game. You don't see that with them guys. They're not built like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's a West wins it no matter what. But
I agree. It's just the better conference too, right? Like, and if Giannis can come back, I wouldn't be surprised if Milwaukee could gives Boston some trouble if Giannis can come back and play healthy.
I mean, you just saw Dame took over this game, and they were stomping them out by 20 the last I saw.
Still are 83-64 right now.
See, and that's with a young. I mean, the Pacers are young as hell too.
Yeah,
but that's with a young squad, and then you got Dame. Now you see the real Dame. This is why Dame's getting traded. This is why Dame is going to want to be off the Bucks because he can't do it with Giannis there. He can't be him. I bet you he's out there smiling, having a good time. Giannis is back. He can't have a good time because Giannis, got to do everything. Giannis even said no to a shoe deal with Adidas because they wouldn't sign his brother, Thanos or whatever the hell his name is. Your brother sucks, dude.
That's what when people talk about Bronny and LeBron, I'm like, if Giannis can have his shit ass brother on the damn team, you telling me one of the greatest basketball players of all time can't have his son? You telling me LeBron can't have his son on the team? If Giannis can have his brother, then LeBron can have his son. Let his fucking son on the team. I don't care. I ain't mad at it.
I agree, but I feel like Bronny goes to college one more year.
Yeah, we'll see.
I would love for him to come to Ohio State.
Yeah.
Come back here. They love to hear. Bronny loved it here. He just stayed there because it was close. But I think LeBron would love it because then he can come back, visit, and see it more because he's still got his big-ass house and bath. He's still got all that shit. I mean.
I've heard it's Ohio State or Duquesne.
Duquesne? Why Duquesne?
Because LeBron's coach, the guy who coached him.
Oh yeah, Drew or not Drew, but Keith Dembrot.
Yeah, is now the coach of Duquesne. Yeah, he coached LeBron.
Dembrot's there, and then
a guy he played with, I think, is the assistant coach too.
Yeah, little Drew is. I mean, what's funny is Drew's pop. Drew used to be real little, and he blew up.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. I remember those kids. I went to high school for 1 year with them guys. I mean, it's
Oh,
crazy
yeah.
to see. Crazy to
Yeah.
see all that. I mean, when LeBron came his freshman year, before they went off the States, and you know how they call everybody out at the pep rally and hey, Sheon Cotton, you come out and do a little thing. Drew Joyce came out, shot a 3. They said LeBron, he came out, threw the ball off the backboard and reverse slammed it. I was like, what? Went home, called everybody I fucking knew. All my fans, hey, listen, put anything and everything on this dude. Like, whatever. This dude is the next coming. And then no one's like, hey, he's a high school. I'm like, he ain't going to go to college. Watch. And I'm like, this is insane.
Rest is history. Rest is history. Yeah. Yeah, so like let Bronny play, but that's kind of where I'm at. Like on so it'll be. You're right, Damus. He does better when he's the focal point.
Yes.
I think the Bucks did a disservice trading for him and getting rid of Drew, and then the Celtics to get Drew Holiday to stay in that point guard position. It was the game changer. Then to get Porzingis as well, but yeah, because that's what they needed. Like I love Marcus Smart's game. I really do. I think he's a great player. I've always liked him, even at Oklahoma State. But it's just like they needed a point guard, and they didn't have one. Like Smart's not a 2 or 1 guard; he's a 2 guard. Drew is a true 1, can facilitate, plays one of the best perimeter defenders. Boston's so good, and then it's like you said though. It's tough to beat Denver in 7 games. Like it's just I don't know how you do it.
It's damn near impossible. And yeah, Drew being the one who can score 20 at any given time, but play that defense. And then you got Kristaps, who's already been humbled.
Yeah.
Because he thought he was big bad, and now he got humbled with the Dallas, and now he was like, hey, you trash, buddy. Yeah. Now he's there, and all they have is Robert Williams, Al Horford. Now you got a guy who could play defense and go out there and shoot a 3, but he could play down low, post moves. Now you're like, holy shit, we're set. We're good. We got Derek White who can come off the bench. You got pieces that can do this. It's just a matter of Tatum or Jalen taking over a game when it needs to be taken over.
Who's the alpha? Who's the alpha and who's the beta? You know what I mean? Like, who's going to be the dude? Who's the dude?
Tatum needs to be. Tatum needs to be the alpha. But, again, it's almost like he's such a nice dude. He's like, oh, it's all right, JB, you do it. And JB's like, I don't have a left hand, so you do it. And then nobody knows anything.
Amen to that. Mike, before we get out here, I'm doing a segment called The Dog and the Turd of the Week. Yes. I'll put you on the spot. If you want me to go first while you think of one, I'll go first. But if not, you can go first.
Now, go ahead. Go first.
All right. So my turd of the week is none other than, I hate to say it, but it's Klay Thompson in a must-win game. 0 for 10 shooting. Only 1 assist. He played 32 minutes, so it's not like he was sitting on the bench. They needed more from the Hall of Fame Klay Thompson, and you're going into a contract year, and that's the last image of Klay Thompson, which could be in a warrior for all things that he ever done. But they needed you, Klay, and you didn't show up. You laid a turd, and you're our turd of the week.
You know what? I don't think I could find a bigger turd than Klay. Because if you look at it, Klay 0 for 10. I mean, dude, he ain't been right since the injury, but it's like you are part of the Splash Brothers. You are part of that team. The reason why they went to all the finals, the reason why they won these championships. Without you, none of that happens because then there's a missing link. So now it's time for you to get the hell off the team and Draymond. Time to go, start over, build something around Curry. He's 15 years in. But yeah, it's got to be Klay. You literally sat there and shot all them shots and just looked like a big turd on that court.
You can't win a championship with Klay Thompson as your second best player anymore.
No.
I hate to say it. And I love Klay. He's one of the most underrated players there is in the league. And he played his role well. But you're right. He ain't been right since the injuries. So
I'll tell you right now. Orlando has no shooting. Put him over there in Orlando. He can just shoot threes, play some defense, let Paolo and the Wagner, let them boys do their thing, hit threes. Dude, you can still stroke it. Just go to Orlando. You'd help them out a lot. They can't hit a 3 if they wanted to.
Yeah. All right, let's get to it. My dog of the week, Mike, is none other than a guy who I've been saying he's a real dog. You said You earlier you said in Boston they don't know who can take over. Well, there's a guy in Minnesota that can take over, and his name is Anthony Edwards. He scored 33-18 in the third quarter last night in the game one as the Timberwolves beat the Suns. This guy is a future MVP. He's an absolute dog, and he's my dog of the week is Anthony Edwards, baby.
You know what? I like that. I like that dog. I'm gonna go somewhere else with it. I'm gonna stay in the NBA, and I'm gonna go Jalen Brunson.
Oh yeah, can't go wrong with that,
dude. I truly thought with Embiid being back, looking like he was 85, 90%, Maxey, everybody, Batum showed up in that playing game. You're like, oh shit, maybe Tobias and them show up. They're gonna start walking these Knicks. Jalen said, nah, he brought that dog out and just smoked him, and made Josh Hart come alive, made DiVincenzo come alive. That dude is a hell of a dog, and if he does it right, I mean, he can go on to the conference finals, because if Giannis doesn't come back, you might see the Knicks versus Celtics. But yeah, Jalen Brunson, that dude's a true dog.
I like it. Hey, that he is a dog. He's a dog on the court too. Like just the way he plays, I can't go wrong with that. That was a hell of a pick, Mike. Mike, before we get you up out of here, go ahead and tell the people where they can find you. And I appreciate you joining me, brother.
Oh, always, man. Anytime. I appreciate you having me. Anytime you call me up, I'm on.
I appreciate it.
You guys can find me, like it says, at the Man Cave 8172. That's YouTube. At the Man Cave 10 on X and TikTok. And at Man Cave 8172 on Instagram. And the Man Cave 1022 on Facebook. Got shows all the time. Every day of the week, it seems like I'm doing something. So I'm all over the place.
Hey, we'll catch Mike out. I'll be back tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern for the Let's Talk Sports Show. We'll be talking Stanley Cup playoffs with Jim and a little baseball with Jonathan. My Cubs need a new closer. They stink. Alomar stinks. I got to ask Jonathan what we need. But be a friend. Tell a friend, folks. Like, subscribe, share. We guys will see you tomorrow night. This has been another great episode of the Bodkin Show. I want to hit that outro right. Meow.